Hey, what's up YouTube? It's K right here. I'm back with another good video for today. Alright, let's talk about Mr. Tyson Fury. I'm gonna bring my thoughts about this piece of shit. Basically ducking the Wilder Fury 3 rematch. But I'm gonna talk about Tyson Fury's excuse on why it doesn't make any sense on my own point of view. I want to basically say I don't give a shit about Tyson Fury. I really hope he does get killed. In terms of Wilder getting back his revenge, because this man is a born criminal. I don't really have that much respect for criminals, and I don't really wish death on any innocent person, but if it's a person that is not innocent and has a record of being evil and guilty, then by all means, I'm all for the justice of wishing death onto those people that do wrong to other people's lives, aka people that are on the verge of getting killed, unethically in the terms of voluntarily consenting to a sport like boxing, which is modern day gladiator pugilism. So, either way, I don't care for Tyson Fury at this point. From here on out, Tyson Fury is my enemy. I do not care two shits about him. If it's any other fighter in the world, regardless of who they look like, from the color of their skin, it does not matter. If you try to take a person's life away in a sport like boxing or shit, even in wrestling, I still don't give a fuck about you because you one destroyed the code of respecting one's life in a sport that you voluntarily get into to apply you know pugilistic damage to another person's body. It like but the morality and the ethicality or the ethics behind it just doesn't relate to proper like social components of proper behavior. And I truly do not have respect for evil people that don't respect human life. But with that being said, Tyson Fury faked the COVID-19 testing, right? Basically, I'm going to talk about why this COVID excuse doesn't make any sense. Because as far as I know with Tyson Fury, he's a piece of shit. He has a history of lying. For those of you that don't know, Tyson Fury did this, in a similar fashion to say, during like the Vladimir Klitschko 2 rematch that he was supposed to fight, prior to him beating Klitschko. I believe like when him and Klitschko were going to get like the rematch, he supposedly broke his ankle or injured his ankle, so Klitschko and him, rescheduled the fight date to be pushed back further, and then come to find out, he gets caught on Nandrolone, for like a steroid drug use, and then he got basically banned for like 5+ years in the UK. And I think the UCAD also got him up on some possible charges of him threatening a 70-year-old, farmer by the name of Martin Carefoot, that eventually later came out and confessed to say that he is being hunted by Tyson Fury and his gang, with him and Daniel Kinahan, that is a known gang lord, criminal that currently lives in Dubai and the United Emirates States in the Middle East. And as far as I know, Tyson Fury, he has a lot of connections with them. So I'm pretty sure Fury had some part with Daniel Kinahan to send out goons to start hunting this Martin Carefoot guy down, to tell him to shut up and just take the money to basically basically just shut up, just to have like no witnesses behind the crimes that he has done. But it's not the first time he's done that. He's done that on plenty of other occasions. He did it with fucking who else? Who are some other people he did it with? Fury did it with, I want to say he did it with Steve Cunningham, but I'm not too sure about that. Definitely, like, as far as cheating goes, Tyson Fury has cheated on multiple occasions, but I would even say, yeah, as far as those situations go, of him, avoiding rematches and not holding up his end of the bargain as a champion, he's never defended any of his titles. So, the two major fights would be him and Deontay Wilder, and then him and Vladimir Klitschko, and that's pretty much about it. Because Fury, he cheated his way to get up to a world title. So it's like he's not even doing anything in his power to actually be, a clean athlete. But for this particular situation between him and Wilder, this is a fight that he is contractually obligated to fight. So he cannot back out of this fight, whatsoever, because, Wilder, he's obligated a rematch, and Fury has his name printed in the contract to sign up for the trilogy. And Wilder had to bring his ass to court, and thank goodness that the judge ruled it in Wilder's favor. And Fury, he can't fucking duck Wilder, because he knows damn well that his ass is either gonna get prosecuted, or he's most likely just gonna retire, being in the crackhead that he is. And actually, I'm pretty sure that's what Tyson Fury is going to do. He's going to, retire. He's going to get the WBC belt stripped, which I'm pretty sure that is what's going to happen. But as much as I'm a Deontay Wilder fan, I just don't see how Deontay Wilder is going to get his justice, unless he probably sends out goons to go beat the shit out of Tyson Fury and get him killed. But either way, I don't think Deontay Wilder would want to do that. He'd rather be a man to go see Tyson Fury face to face and, just beat the shit out of him. Honestly, it would be even good if if Deontay Wilder could just hunt Fury down and just kick his ass in real life, so that way he can get his justice. But either way, I just don't see how Tyson Fury is gonna be able to, I guess, like, be put down in a court of law to be forced to fight Wilder, because like, we all know, like, Tyson Fury, he's gonna find any way possible to get out of this. But using COVID as an excuse to get out of it didn't make sense, because prior to him having COVID, with those 9 other weirdos that supposedly said that, oh, Tyson Fury, he got COVID, blah blah blah, and 9 other teammates out of his stable got the virus, and it just didn't make any sense from there on. Because if you actually look at it, Tyson Fury, he actually was being monitored by Mr. Bob Arum, and Bob Arum was saying that Tyson Fury was basically, vaccinated, right? And, it was, all said and, yeah, like, it was all said and clear to think that, Tyson Fury, he was perfectly fine, and there's nothing bad gonna happen to him. But they never put in the part to say that Tyson Fury only got 1 shot out of the 2 shots for the vaccine, for the COVID vaccine. So Bob Arum pretty much lied through his fucking teeth, pretty much admitting that Tyson Fury, he wasn't even fully vaccinated, and Tyson Fury supposedly gets COVID, but then come to find out, there's like leaked photos of him getting off of like a plane, and he's basically just on the run, chilling out with his homies, somewhere out of nowhere, I think out of Europe or some shit. So it's like, which one is it? Does Tyson Fury really have COVID, or is he just avoiding the Wilder fight, knowing that his ass is going to get killed if he walks into the ring with Wilder on July 24th? Or Tyson Fury knows that his life is over, regardless, and he's going to, retire and go back to his crackhead ways, which I think is going to be option B. He knows his shit. Yeah, he knows everything is done. He knows Wilder will probably hunt him down, even if he doesn't fight Wilder, because he knows that Deontay Wilder, Deontay Wilder, he's not dumb. He's either going to bring this to a court of law, where Fury, he's going to lose everything. He's going to lose everything. Like, literally, he's going to lose all of his property. He's going to lose everything that he owns. And what Deontay Wilder said in that video, when he came back after being silent for like so many months leading up to like a year. That was true. You know, when a man steals from another man, he has to pay 3 times the amount of what he stole back to the people that he took advantage of. And I think, like, I'm not that well, I'm not theistically religious, but even as like a deist, I actually do agree on that sentiment itself, because when you do wrong to people that haven't done wrong to you, the golden rule will flip against you, where you pay your justice to the people that you did wrong to. So I think it makes all the sense in the world why Deontay Wilder, he's gonna get justice, but I think at the end of the day, Tyson Fury, he's like, he doesn't want to meet, the justice of getting killed for his crimes that he did to Wilder, because I still believe that Wilder needs to have that justice done for him, where Tyson Fury needs to fucking fight him, or else Tyson Fury, he just needs to go to federal prison. Honestly, I don't see how charges cannot be brought up on him. I've been arguing on the position to say that Tyson Fury, he needs to go to jail. I don't see how a boxer cannot go to jail, but whenever we see this in any other sport, we do see athletes do go to fucking jail. We've seen that in the NFL. We've seen that, in the NBA. We've seen that in the MLB. Why the fuck can it not happen in boxing? Shit, we've seen that in the UFC, where Rachel Ostovich, she got beat up by her boyfriend that was a UFC fighter, and that motherfucker, he got locked up, man. His ass is nowhere to be talked about. She got, abused by her boyfriend, and ever since then, like, I guess she's been living her life with her daughter, and here she is doing better, and I think she's about to fight Paige, Van Zandt by the end of July. But yeah, good for her. But it's like, there's justice being done on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's justice in the sport of MMA if somebody fucking cheats. But 9 times out of 10 in the UFC, there's no cheating. Those guys get that shit done, and fighters, would have to be stupid to think about cheating. Because at least in MMA, which I'll give y'all credit, the sport of MMA fans care about the sport. But for boxing, people don't give two shits about the sport. And it really fucking sucks, because whenever shit like this does happen, to a level of a Jack Johnson versus that whatever Jim Jeffries motherfucker, right? Back in like the old racist days, in the 1800s, prior to the Industrial Revolution in America. It's like, those times are fucking evil. That's what creates bloodshed. That's what makes people want to kill each other. That's what makes people want to go to war with each other. And that's not granting the justice in the sport of boxing compared to the justice in other sports, where people, they called that shit out, they exposed it, and now look at how the sport has evolved. Those sports are doing fine. Yeah, there's certain corruption here or there, but guess what? It gets cleared up because people call it out. Whenever there's fucking cheating in football, people call that shit out. Oh, people say, oh, the Patriots fucking cheated the last year in the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand how many times I keep hearing that mentally retarded argument. And I'm not a Pats fan, I'm a Giants fan, but I'm just using this as a primary example. When corruption happens in bigger sports like football, soccer, or or basketball in the NBA, or baseball in the MLB, 9 times out of 10, people call out the cheating. People know that the cheating is an issue, and people expose it, and people get their fair just due in that sport because they keep exposing it. But when we bring this to the sport of boxing, it's like people are so racist and motivated to divide people and not want to fucking talk about it. So, like, when Canelo Alvarez, if he comes out of his way and cheats against his next opponent, those same fans will be the same dick riders for Tyson Fury that hate Deontay Wilder. They don't like Tyson. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about Tyson Fury. They give a fuck about hating on Deontay Wilder and making sure that he does not ever come back in the sport. Because they think that in order to be the best in any sport in the world, you can just cheat and then boom. You don't have to go through all the nitty gritty. You don't have to go through, the tough, rugged, competition to help yourself build as an athlete. You don't have to go through that notion of actually performing at a high level and actually having that adversity being applied to you as a fighter or as any other pro athlete would, to go through that critical pressure by the media and whoever is trying to doubt you. But then when you face that adversity and you defeat it, it's like everyone shuts you down either way, because there's a hierarchical class of the coincidentalist fighters, aka black murderous row fighters, and then there's the hopeless fighters, which would be guys that are, or guys or girls that are politically selected by promoters or sanctioning bodies for those title commissions to protect those fighters and give those fighters political immunity to advance in the sport faster. That is what's wrong with the sport of boxing. And I swear to fucking God, I really hope if there's any change in the sport of boxing before I die, I am going to push for it, because I hate the amount of cheating that I see in boxing. And I don't understand why it cannot be fixed immediately or fixed at all, because it can be fixed and it can go away just like that. But the problem is that nobody's talking about it. And for this issue, with this particular situation of Tyson Fury supposedly having COVID-19, when we all know the truth, we all know what the fuck happened to him. For those of you that do not know, Tyson Fury got his ass whooped in sparring by, you guessed it, who? Mr. Big Baby Jared Anderson. I don't give a fuck about Jared Anderson. I think Jared Anderson, he's a Sambo. He's a Sambo coon, by the way. But at the end of the day, Jared Anderson was beating the crap out of Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury knew that he was not ready for Deontay Wilder if he's getting slept in sparring by guys that have knockout power, by Jared Anderson and Efe Ajagba. What makes you think in a million years he's going to be ready for Wilder? And yet, this man has been sitting on the couch for well over a year. You saw this nigga coming out of the store, getting all these drinks, drinking all this luxurious wine and all this crap. How do you call this your champion? When you compare this to a guy like Errol Spence, if Errol Spence was caught doing any of this bullshit, you same racist dipshits would go after Errol Spence and tell him, oh, hey, Errol Spence, why are you doing this? Why are you partying? Why are you drinking, Errol Spence? Hey, Errol Spence, you shouldn't be doing that. And then you'd have all these media outlets, DAZN, ESPN, all these racist-ass media dipshits that have no fucking soul to care for anyone's privacy, just dick riding on the hate train on Errol Spence. You say Errol Spence, oh, he's a shitty fighter. He's not caring about his health. Look at what he's doing, blah blah blah. Oh, Errol Spence, he's clicked to bad habits ever since his car accident. He's not going to be good in the future if he faces a guy like Terrence Crawford or moves up to face, Canelo Alvarez at 168, blah blah blah. Like literally, the amount of hate that Errol Spence would get is far greater compared to what Tyson Fury is not getting. Tyson Fury should be hated right now. Tyson Fury should be obliterated away from this earth. But yet, none of you stupid shitheads don't have the confidence to talk about this COVID excuse. Are you fucking stupid? Deontay Wilder has been busting his ass for a good fucking year. For a good fucking year, Deontay Wilder has been whooping the shit on training to get ready for a big fight for Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury decides to pull out at the last minute. And the date is like what? It is July 10th. July 24th is coming in 14 days. And I don't know. I kind of do think that at the end of the day, we have to just acknowledge that who do we want to see Wilder, like, what does Deontay Wilder do from here? Does Deontay Wilder just go his own way, and then he kind of waits us out with what Tyson Fury is going to do? And then if Tyson Fury just, decides to get stripped by the WBC, which I'm pretty sure the WBC, they're definitely going to protect him, but it's like, let's just say the WBC, they have to go, they have to go by the rules, because for those of you that don't know, Tyson Fury has until September 16th to make a decision to come back and fight Wilder. And for some odd reason, I heard that the fight date got pushed from July 24th to October 16th. And I'm just thinking, like, Wilder's not going to wait until October 16th. Because you obviously know that Tyson Fury, he's been obviously lazy for that one whole fucking year, sitting down on the couch, drinking, probably fucking his weird ass wife, and I'm not gonna disrespect his kids. I'm not that type of guy, but you obviously know that this man, he wasn't even committed to, to staying active at all. He wasn't staying inside the gym. He wasn't, keeping himself in shape. This piece of shit was literally sitting on his ass, traveling from country to country. Well, like, I'm pretty sure during COVID, especially like lockdowns last year. No, he was like probably sitting at home getting fat and shit. And then he went back to the stores and probably got drunk back at his house. Like, who knows? But it's like, you already know that Tyson Fury is not disciplined versus Deontay Wilder ever since his loss. Like, he's been getting so much better. Deontay Wilder's skill set has improved drastically, and yet Tyson Fury is not even looking good. He looks like a fat ass. He looks like a completely blubbered piece of shit, out of shape, weak ass fighter, man. But I don't know. Honestly, I think this is what's going to happen. These are my final thoughts for the conclusion. I think Deontay Wilder is either going to wait this out, see what Tyson Fury is going to do, and if Tyson Fury gets stripped, then Deontay Wilder will face Dillian Whyte for the WBC World Heavyweight title. I think that's what's going to happen. Unless Fury got balls and then he comes out of this COVID bullshit nonsense and fights Deontay Wilder on July 24th for all this money that is now lost. Millions of dollars was just wasted for nothing. Yeah. I think Fury needs to give Wilder a huge apology, and he needs to give Wilder that fight, because Wilder, he wants to kill Fury, and I'm all for it. But it's like, for Fury to be a pussy and back out of it like a bitch shows his seldom of ignorance and his mentally retarded mindset of how he is as a fighter. Because even his father knew, like, oh, hey son, don't take this Deontay Wilder fight. Deontay Wilder has gotten so much better. Knowing that Deontay Wilder would have killed him in the fucking ring. It would have been no different from Apollo Creed's son beating the shit out of Ivan Drago's son, and then he's so close to fucking killing him that Ivan Drago throws in that fucking towel. Just like Tyson Fury's dad throwing in the towel for his own fucking son. But guess what? That's not gonna happen, because you wanna know why? Because Deontay Wilder's gonna kill him before that even happens. So what better way than to duck Deontay Wilder? Because you know damn well he's still gonna kill you outside that ring. So you just didn't want to have it exposed inside the ring, because your ass would have been hunted down inside the ring. So that's very much my thoughts. I don't like Tyson Fury. I've made this clear multiple times on multiple occasions. For those of you that think I'm wild and insane, fuck y'all, man. You guys are assholes, to begin with. And I don't have any, respect for cheaters in boxing, man. I got respect for fighters that actually do have respect for me. And, I'm going to stand for the justice of boxing, man. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Much respect to all the fighters that I know. Long live Deontay Wilder. Long live the LDBC. Shout out to you guys. BFTV, Kind of Local Sports, Drew Titan, Blue Blood, Aki TV, Boxing Ego. Everybody, man. Thank you very much. I'm gonna sign out, and with more content to come. Thank you. Bye.